That morning, I stood in the bedroom doorway with a coffee mug in my hand and watched my wife, Ashley, step into her third dress. She was talking about how she wanted to impress her former boyfriend, and I should have realized right then that my marriage was already on its last legs. She kept turning side to side in front of our full-length mirror like she was auditioning for some part one did not know existed. "What do you think, Mike?" Ashley asked, smoothing the black cocktail dress I had bought her for our anniversary 2 years ago. "Do I look desperate?" I took a slow sip and weighed my words. The true answer was yes, but honesty had become expensive in our house. "It depends on what you are desperate for," I said. Ashley laughed, that light little sound she made when she chose to hear cute instead of cutting. "Oh, she said. "I just want to look good for the reunion committee meeting tonight. Brandon will be there. He always looks so put together." Brandon Cole, her college boyfriend. Now he was a hotshot tech consultant who had moved back to town 6 months ago. Lately his name had started showing up in our conversations more and more, always bringing that dreamy look to Ashley's eyes. "That used to be my look." "Right," I said. "The reunion committee. Very important business. Someone has to choose chicken or fish for people who peaked at 19. "Do not be such a cynic, Mike," she said. "Some of us actually liked college." That one landed. I met Ashley 5 years after graduation. She was already climbing the marketing ladder at Henderson and Associates. I was still figuring out that construction management meant more than knowing which end of a hammer to hold. She told me she liked my blue-collar charm. Lately I had started to wonder if I was just a phase she tried on until something shinier came along. "I am going to grab breakfast," I said, turning away from her little fashion show. "Do not forget, Kelly and Lauren are coming by at 7 to pick me up," Ashley called after me. "Please try to be nice." Kelly Adams and Lauren Brooks were Ashley's closest friends from college. Both were married to successful guys who played golf and drove luxury cars. They treated me with that careful politeness people use on waiters and children. I had learned how to give it right back. I spent the day at the site, losing myself in the rhythm I know, lining up subcontractors, solving problems that actually have solutions. My crew could tell when I showed up in a mood. They knew I was more in the demolish frame of mind than the build frame of mind. "You good, boss?" Tom Peterson asked around lunch. Tom is my foreman and the closest thing I have to a best friend now. He is great at reading people and even better at knowing when to keep quiet. "Wife is going out with her college friends tonight," I said, not looking up from the blueprints on the folding table. "Ah," Tom said, like that one syllable covered the whole situation. "The fancy ones, right?" "The very same." "Well, at least you get the house to yourself," he said. "Order a pizza, find a movie with a lot of explosions, live the dream." If only it were that easy. Tom did not know about Brandon. He did not know how Ashley's face changed when she said his name. He did not know how often she had been working late lately, with excuses that sounded fine until you stacked them together like bricks and saw the wall they made. I pulled into the driveway at 6:30 and walked into a living room that looked like a command center for social climbing. Ashley, Kelly, and Lauren were on the couch with big glasses of wine. Their phones were out. They were scrolling through photos from past reunion events, as far as I could tell. "Mike," Kelly said when she noticed me, with the tone people use for a neighbor's dog that has wandered into the yard. "How was work? Build anything exciting today?" "Just the usual," I said. "Walls and foundations. The things that keep buildings standing. Not as thrilling as planning a party." Lauren giggled. "Oh, Mike, you are so funny. Ashley, you did not tell us he was in such a good mood." Ashley sent me a look that told me to cut it out. "He is always like this when he is tired," she said. "Long day at the site. You know how it is." But I was not tired. I was angry, and the longer I listened, the hotter it burned. They went over every detail of the night like a checklist. Who would be there? What everyone would wear? Who had made it big? And through all of it, Brandon's name kept popping up like the same chorus in a song I did not want stuck in my head. "I heard Brandon just bought that new penthouse downtown," Kelly said. "The one with the rooftop garden. Must be nice to have money like that." "He was always ambitious," Ashley said. There was that look again. "Remember how he used to talk about changing the world with technology? I guess he actually did it." "Unlike some people who peaked in college," I said, tossing her earlier words back on the table. Silence. 3 pairs of eyes, 3 different flavors of disapproval, all pointed at me. "Excuse me," Lauren said, sharp as a tack. "Nothing," I said. Only saying it is impressive when people live up to their potential. Ashley stood and smoothed the dress she had chosen. She went with option number 2, a blue one that fit her perfectly, which I noticed even while I hated that I noticed. "We should get going," she said. "We do not want to be late." They grabbed their purses and checked their makeup one last time. As they headed for the door, I heard a slice of conversation that made my stomach drop. "Do you think he will notice?" Ashley asked, voice low. "Honey, in that dress." Kelly said, "He would have to be blind not to. It has just been so long since I felt, appreciated," Ashley said. "Trust me," Lauren added. "By the end of the night, you will remember exactly what you have been missing." They left in a cloud of perfume and laughter, and I stood there in my own house feeling like a stranger who had let himself in. I walked to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and stared at the shelves without really seeing a thing. Pizza sounded like cardboard to me. Instead, I walked into Ashley's home office and stared at the desk where she spent so many of her working late nights. The laptop was shut, but her paper planner lay open to today. In neat handwriting, "Reunion Committee, 7 p.m. and an address I did not recognize. I typed it into Google Maps. Not the community center. Vanos, the expensive wine bar downtown where one drink costs what I spend on lunch all week. My phone buzzed. Tom texted, "How is the bachelor evening?" Pizza and explosions. I did not answer. I grabbed my keys. If Ashley wanted to play games, I would at least learn the rules. Vanos looked exactly right. Exposed brick, Edison bulbs, a wine list longer than my mortgage paperwork. I parked across the street, feeling like a low-rent private investigator spying on his own wife. At 7:15, Ashley, Kelly, and Lauren swept inside laughing, the kind of confident that never checks a bank balance before ordering a bottle. Through the front windows, I watched them take a table and back, order drinks, and settle in. For a minute, I wondered if I was being paranoid. Then Brandon Cole walked in. Tall, polished, the kind of easy stride money buys. He saw Ashley at once and came straight over, smiling like he owned the room. She stood and melted into him. The hug ran a beat too long. When they broke apart, her hand lingered on his chest. Kelly and Lauren greeted him like a celebrity, and the four of them fell into fast, animated talk. Ashley threw her head back when he joked, fingers drifting to his arm. Every move read as history and heat. I sat in my truck for 2 hours, watching my wife flirt while her best friends played cheer squad. When they finally left, Brandon's hand rested at the small of her back. Kelly and Lauren followed like wing women, pleased with their work. The drive home was a blur of anger that settled into a decision. If this was a game, I would learn how to win it. At 11:30 p.m., Ashley came in humming, kicked off her heels, and floated past. "How was the committee meeting?" I asked from the couch, eyes on the television. "Oh, menu planning. Venue details," she said, still wearing that dreamy look. "I am exhausted. Going to bed." "How is Brandon these days?" I asked. She froze. For a second, something like guilt flashed across her face. "Brandon? He is fine. Successful. You know how he is." She recovered and tried for casual. "Why do you ask?" "Curious. You mention him a lot lately." "Do I?" She forced a laugh. "Had not noticed. Good night." She headed upstairs. When the shower started, I went to the purse she had left on the kitchen counter. I felt like a thief, but I needed proof. In a side pocket, I found a business card. Brandon Cole, Senior Technology Consultant. On the back, in Ashley's handwriting, a number and a note. "Cannot wait to see you again," finished with a small heart. I stared at that card until my chest went cold. When I finally went up, she was in bed pretending to sleep. I lay on my back and planned. In the morning, every dress from her closet sat boxed by the front door. I left a note. "Since you are so focused on impressing your former boyfriend, you may want to return these to their original owner. I clearly bought them for the wrong woman. Your husband." Her scream almost paid me back for the sleepless night. "Mike, what is this?" I looked up from my coffee and the newspaper. "Spring cleaning. Since you are busy impressing Brandon, you might want a new wardrobe. Something that fits someone who is apparently single. You went through my closet. You packed my clothes. Are you insane?" "Insane? No. Observant." I stood, and she stepped back. "I saw you last night at Vanos with your hands all over your former boyfriend while your friends cheered." Her face went pale. "You were spying on me?" "I was trying to learn why my wife was lying about where she was going and who she was seeing," I said. Turns out I did not need to be much of a detective. It is not what you think. Here's what I think. I cut in. You are seeing Brandon Cole, and Kelly and Lauren are helping you. You have been lying for months, maybe longer. You treat our marriage like an obstacle you work around. Ashley's mouth opened and closed. For once, she had no words. Here is what happens next, I said, steady. You tell me the truth, every piece of it. Then we decide if this marriage is worth saving, or if you would rather play dress up for someone who wants you in those clothes. She studied me, weighing what I knew. Fine. You want the truth? Yes. I have been seeing Brandon. Yes. Kelly and Lauren know. Yes, I lied. But it is not what you think. We are just friends. We have not done anything. Not yet, I said. Last night was supposed to be the night. That is why you tried on 3 dresses. That is why your friends gave you pep talks. That is why you came home humming like a teenager. The guilt in her eyes told me the rest. I want you out, I said quietly. Mike, please. We can fix this. I made a mistake. It is not too late. You are right. It is too early. You have not crossed the line, which means I get to decide how this ends. I will not stay married to a placeholder while you shop for an upgrade. Where am I supposed to go? I nodded at the box dresses. Brandon's penthouse has room. Your friends think you would be happier there. You cannot throw me out. This is my house too. Actually, it is not. Check the deed. I bought this place before we married. You wanted your name on it, but we never did the paperwork. Shock hit her like a slap. She had forgotten that detail. Pack what you need for a few days, I said, heading for the door. We will sort the rest through lawyers if we must. Mike, wait. Let us talk like adults. Adults do not sneak around. Adults do not lie about where they are and who they are with. Adults do not flirt with an ex in public while friends giggle. You want respect, Ashley? Act like an adult. I left her standing in silk pajamas among boxes and drove to work. I spent the day running on anger and caffeine. Tom took one look and kept the crew busy and the questions low. By evening, I knew kicking her out was only the start. She lied to me, humiliated me, and treated our marriage like trash. Her friends helped. If they wanted a game, I would show them how to play. When I got home, she was gone. 2 suitcases and her jewelry box with her. The dresses stayed. Small win. A note on the counter read, "This is not over. We need to talk when you calm down. I am staying with Kelly." Perfect. Save me a trip. I called my cousin Ryan Hale, who works in information technology at a downtown law firm. If anyone could help me do this clean and legal, it was him. You want to do what? Ryan asked after I laid it out. I want the truth public, I said. About my wife and about her friends. All above board. I get that you are angry, he said. But once you start a war, it is hard to stop. They started when they made me a punchline. I will finish it. He sighed. All right. We do this smart and legal. No hacking. No breaking in. Nothing that gets us arrested. Deal. Step 1 was reconnaissance. I needed to learn more about Brandon, about his connection with Ashley, and how deep Kelly and Lauren were in. Ryan set up clean social accounts under alternate names. Nothing illegal, just quiet observation. What I found made my blood boil. Brandon's Facebook page was a shrine to himself. Luxury trips, designer clothes, and his precious electric car. Worse were the photos from recent months. Ashley, Kelly, and Lauren at dinners, wine tastings, and gallery openings. An entire social world I knew nothing about. The comments told the truth. Kelly and Lauren cheered them on, dropping perfect couple jokes and meant to be winks. They had been playing matchmaker for months. The most damning piece was on Lauren's Instagram. A video from the night before at Vanos. Ashley's arms around Brandon's neck, his hands on her waist, both of them looking like no one else existed. The caption said, "Some people are meant to find their way back. True love. Second chances." Cold settled in my chest. Now I had proof and a plan. I did not feel bad. I saved the video and started planning. 2 days later, Kelly posted about a small dinner at her place. The tags listed Ashley, Brandon, Lauren, and her husband, and Kelly's husband Greg. A cozy circle of co-conspirators plus a few spouses who had no idea. I waited until the party was roaring, then drove over with a manila envelope and my calmest face. Kelly's suburban showpiece was all granite and vaulted ceilings. I knew it well from the days when Ashley and I still pretended to be happy. Kelly opened the door and cycled through surprise, guilt, fear, then fake cheer. "Mike, what are you doing here? Ashley said you two were separated." "We are." I brought a few of her things. Easier than lawyers. I stepped inside. In the living room, Ashley and Brandon sat close on the couch, his arm draped over her shoulders. Their faces changed when they heard me, hers to pure panic. I raised my voice so the room could hear. Perfect timing. I can return this to everyone at once. I opened the envelope and passed out printouts. Photos of Ashley and Brandon together, screenshots of Kelly and Lauren cheering them on, and stills from Lauren's video of the dance at Vanos. For your scrapbooks, I said, so you can remember the season you all worked together to wreck my marriage. Kelly, that comment about Ashley deserving someone who appreciates her. Very subtle. Silence. Lauren's husband stared, confused. Greg read the captions, getting redder by the second. Ashley looked like she wanted the couch to swallow her. And you, Lauren, I said, turning to her. That video caption, meant to find their way back. Very romantic. I am sure your husband appreciates learning that you think adultery equals true love. Brandon started to rise. Now wait No, you wait, I said. You thought you were clever sneaking around and using my wife's friends as cover. Secrets only work when they stay secret. I held up my phone. These photos are already with our neighbors, coworkers, and families. By morning, everybody will know exactly who you are. You cannot do that, Ashley said at last. That is harassment. No, that is documentation. You all posted it in public. I am making sure it gets the audience it earned. Brandon tried the tough guy stance. You need to leave now. Or what? You call the police and report that I returned printed screenshots of public posts? I looked around at their faces and felt a satisfaction I had not felt in months. Here is how it is, I said. Ashley, stay here with your new boyfriend and your loyal team, but do not crawl back later acting surprised at what you threw away. Kelly, Lauren, congratulations on destroying a marriage. Your husbands will have questions. I reached the door, then paused. Oh, and Brandon, that electric car you love? You might want to check the parking lot. They rushed to the windows. I headed home and spent the night answering calls from friends and relatives who had received the photos. Some backed me. Some were shocked. A few scolded me for airing it out. I did not care. The secret was gone. By morning, I had 17 missed calls from Ashley and a text. We need to talk. I replied, no, we do not. I was wrong about that part. We were only getting started. They went into damage control, pushing a story that I was paranoid and controlling and that they were the real victims. It might have worked if I did not already have a stack of receipts and the will to use them. The turning point came when Ashley showed up at my job site with a police officer, tears ready, voice shaking, the whole performance. Officer, this is my husband, she said, pointing at me like I was a threat. He has been stalking me and humiliating me. I just want him to leave me alone. The cop, Officer Patterson, middle-aged and tired, looked at me. Sir, I need you to keep your distance until this is resolved. What situation? I asked. The one where she cheated with an ex while her friends ran cover, or the one where I used public posts to document it? I do not want the marital details, he said. Just maintain distance. No problem, officer. I have no interest in being near someone who treats marriage like a trial period. Ashley's act slipped, showing the anger under it. See? He cannot even be civil. He has made my life hell for days. Actually, I said, pulling out my phone, I have been documenting everything too. Would you like to see the messages where she admits the affair and begs me to take her back? Or maybe you would prefer the voicemails, I said, where she calls me every name in the book because I will not play along with her victim act. Officer Patterson looked like he wanted to cuff us all just to end it. Both of you need to handle this through lawyers. Sir, stay away from your wife. Ma'am, stop contacting your husband if you do not want a response. Can we agree? Ashley nodded fast, annoyed that he would not paint me as the only bad guy. They left. Tom wandered over, shaking his head. Boss, be careful. She is out for blood. Let her try, I said. I am just getting started. That afternoon, I moved to Phase 2. The night before, I had dug into Henderson and Associates, Ashley's firm. Their employee code was strict about conduct that could damage the company's reputation. I booked a meeting with her supervisor, Ms. Temple, pretending to discuss an office renovation. In her office, I set a portfolio on the desk, real construction proposals on top, my evidence beneath. Actually, I am here about a different matter, I said. Your employee Ashley Carter has been using company time and resources for an extramarital affair. It is drawing public attention. Ms. Temple page through texts during work hours, social posts geotagged during client meetings, expense reports labeled client dinners that were dates with Brandon Cole. This is very concerning, she said at last. If accurate, Ms. Carter has violated multiple policies. I am not asking you to take my word, I said. Everything here is documented and verifiable. I thought you should know. 2 days later, Human Resources called Ashley, Indiana. By week's end, she was on unpaid suspension pending investigation. Her access was revoked, cards canceled, reputation shredded. That night she called, already screaming. You bastard. You got me fired. You destroyed my career. I did not get you fired, I said. You chose to have an affair on company time with company resources. I made sure your employer knew. This is insane. You are ruining my life. No, I am revealing your life. You cheated, you lied, you humiliated me. I am showing people who you are. I will sue you for harassment, for defamation. For what? Telling the truth? Most of the proof came from your own social media. Take me to court. I would love a judge to review the evidence. Silence. Then, this is not over. You are right, I said. It is not. I did not stop with Ashley. Kelly and Lauren helped build this mess, and consequences were due. Kelly sold high-end real estate for a brand that preached family values. I sent her manager a careful note with screenshots of her cheerleading in the comments under Ashley and Brandon's photos. Lauren taught yoga at multiple upscale studios and posted daily quotes about honesty and authenticity. I made a simple comparison card, her inspirational lines beside her public encouragement of the affair, and shared it with the studios. Within a week, both were feeling it. Kelly lost prime listings and several big clients. Lauren was taken off the schedule at 2 studios. Their homes shook, too. Eric Coleman, Lauren's husband, moved out and filed for separation after seeing how deep she was involved. Greg Adams chose another route. He started posting photos of Kelly's luxury shopping alongside captions about the cost of a wife who wrecks marriages instead of working. The dominoes fell exactly how I hoped. But I was not finished. Brandon had lit the fuse, and he earned special attention. I studied his routine. Predictable. Lunch at the same downtown spot every Tuesday and Thursday. Tennis at the same country club on weekends. Each night, his precious electric car tucked into the same space in his building's garage. Time for a little chaos. Strike one was small but sharp. While he ate lunch, I left a note under his wiper. Your girlfriend's husband says hello. Enjoy the show. I added a smiley face. Strike two was more creative. Ryan Hale helped me pick up several bottles of liquid fish fertilizer. Perfectly legal, sold at any garden center, and unforgettable to the nose. While Brandon played tennis, we gave his car's air system a careful dose. Then we left, and I waited for the smell to do the talking. It would not harm the car, but it would make Brandon's next drives miserable. Strike three was psychological. I began appearing where I knew he would be. A quiet coffee at his cafe. A casual wave from across the street outside his office. A coincidental stop at the gas station. I never spoke to him, never threatened him, never crossed a legal line. I only made sure he understood that choices have consequences, and those consequences had a face. It worked. Within 2 weeks his posts turned paranoid, rants about unstable people who could not handle rejection. He changed his routine, kept glancing over his shoulder, and moved like a man scared of his own shadow. Better still, the pressure cracked his thing with Ashley. Under stress, his real self showed. Selfish, timid, and weak. When she lost her job, he offered excuses, not help. When she needed support, he kept his distance. She had traded a marriage for a man who wanted the fun without the weight. The end came when Ashley, broke and desperate, asked to move in. Kelly heard it from mutual friends and passed it along. Brandon told her, "We are moving too fast. Let us take a break and see how we feel in a few months." She was crushed. I felt nothing but relief. Justice, neat and symmetrical. But I still had one last move. The chance arrived from Ashley herself. 3 weeks after Brandon had effectively dumped her. 3 weeks after the suspension, and after Greg Adams told Kelly he would not keep sheltering the homewrecker. Ashley called me. "Mike," she said, voice small, "I know I messed up. I am sorry. We had something good. Can we try again?" I looked at the spot where her boxed dresses had sat. The house felt cleaner now, like the lies had been hauled out with them. Work what out, I asked. Our marriage, she said. It is over with Brandon. That was a fantasy. What we had was real. A fantasy that cost you your job, your friends, and your marriage, I said. I know. I will live with it. I am asking for forgiveness. Please give us another chance. I let the silence run. The old version of me might have believed in second chances at any cost. That man was gone. I was harder now, practical. Tell you what, I said at last. Let us talk in person tomorrow night. Really? Hope bled through the phone. Really? Come by at 7. We will order dinner and discuss our future like adults. Oh, Mike, thank you. You will not regret this. She was wrong about that. Someone would regret it, but it would not be me. The next day, I set the stage. I called Tom Peterson and asked him to swing by with his wife Sarah around 7:30. Just drop in for a beer, I said. Trust me. Then I called my attorney, Ms. Grant. Have the divorce papers ready to sign, I told her. Complete, final, no contest. After I called Ms. Grant about the papers, I rang Ryan Hale and asked him to set up a video call with my parents across the country. 7:30 tomorrow night, I said. Tell them it is important. Then I went shopping. Not flowers or wine. I bought a small digital camera, a tripod, and a voice recorder. If Ashley wanted to discuss our future, I would make sure there was a complete record. She arrived at 7 with a bottle of wine and a new dress that read humble, not flashy. Hi, she said softly. Thank you for seeing me. Come in. I ordered Chinese. I hope that is fine. That is perfect. Like old times. We sat at the same kitchen table where we had planned trips and pretended to be happy. Now it felt like a set for the last scene. So, I said, opening lo mein. Tell me about your fantasy. My what? You said what you had with Brandon was a fantasy. I want details. What was I competing with? Money? Sneaking around? The thrill of your friends helping you betray your husband? It was not like that, she said, shifting. I felt unseen. He made me feel appreciated. I know now it was only flattery. What you and I had was real. From my side, what we had was a real marriage based on commitment, I said. You traded it for attention from a man who dumped you when life got hard. I know. I made a terrible mistake. Marriage is forgiving and moving forward. I thought marriage was honesty and loyalty, not public humiliation. The doorbell rang on cue. I let her sit with that and answered it. Tom Peterson and his wife Sarah stood there, uncertain. Not interrupting, are we? Tom asked. Not at all, I said. Come in. Ashley and I are discussing our future. In the kitchen, Ashley froze mid-bite. Ashley, I said, cheerful. You remember Tom and Sarah? They asked how you were since you moved out. Fine, she managed. We hope you can work things out, Sarah said, polite and careful. Actually, I said, sitting. Ashley was explaining how her affair with Brandon Cole was just a fantasy and how she wants to reconcile now that he dumped her. Were you not, honey? Silence. Tom and Sarah traded looks. Ashley stared at the table. Mike, she whispered, this is not the time. Oh, it is, I said. While I waited for you tonight, I realized something. I do not want to reconcile. I do not want to pretend this was a simple mistake. I walked to the counter and picked up the documents Ms. Grant had prepared. What I want is clarity. I set the papers in front of her. These are divorce papers, Ashley. No fault, no contest. A 50-50 split of assets. Considering you do not have a job and I own the house outright, that is generous. She stared like it was a foreign language. You planned this. You never intended to reconcile. That is right, I said. Just like you never planned to be faithful when you started flirting with Brandon. The difference is I am honest about my intentions. My phone rang. Hi, Mom. Perfect timing. Yes, she is here. Why do you not tell her yourself? I hit speaker and set the phone on the table. My mother's voice filled the kitchen, warm and devastating. Ashley, honey, we saw the photos Mike sent. We are very disappointed. The pictures with that man and those messages from your friends pushing you to cheat. We raised you better. We love you, but explanations do not change actions. Mike is handling this with more grace than you deserve. I ended the call. 3 stunned faces stared back. Here is how this works, I said evenly. You will sign those papers tonight. Then you will leave my house and not come back. Keep the clothes and personal items you already took. Everything else stays. You cannot do this, she whispered. I can and I am. While you played house with Brandon and let your friends run cover, I documented everything. Every lie, every humiliation. Now everyone knows who you are. I looked to Tom and Sarah. Would you two stay as witnesses while Ashley signs? Mike, are you sure? Tom asked. Absolutely. She made her choice. I am making mine. Ashley picked up the pen with shaking hands. This is cruel. You know what is cruel? Cheating while your friends cheer. Lying to my face while you plan betrayal. Treating a marriage as disposable until you need it. She signed without reading, tears running. There, she said, dropping the pen. Are you happy now? You destroyed my job, my friends, my marriage, my family. Are you satisfied? I looked at the person who finally felt the weight she had put on me. Yes, I said. I am. She gathered her purse and coat, paused at the door. I hope you know what you are giving up. I do, I said. A cheating wife, lying friends, and a marriage built on deception. Best trade I ever made. After she left, Tom and Sarah sat in stunned silence. That was intense, Tom said. That was justice, I said. She wanted games. I taught rules. Do you not feel bad? He asked. I thought about it. Did I regret exposing her, forcing the truth into the light? Did I wish I had taken the quiet path? No, I said. She chose, and now she lives with it. Just like I lived with trusting someone who did not deserve it. 6 months later, I heard the updates. Ashley moved out of state to her parents. Kelly Adams and Greg Adams divorced. He kept custody of the kids and most of the assets. Lauren Brooks and Eric Coleman reconciled, but only after she deleted all social media and completed an anger management class. Brandon Cole started dating a younger woman who did not know his pattern. I gave that 6 months. As for me, I kept my house, my work, and my dignity. I learned to enjoy my own company and the quiet of a home without lies. Sometimes I thought about that morning with the 3 dresses, and I smiled. In the end, the dress code for revenge was simple: honesty, consequences, and the patience to let people undo themselves. It never goes out of style.